Okay, so today we are talking about all the books I read in September and what I thought of all of them. At the beginning of this year, I started to do seasonal book reviews where I would review all the books that I read for spring. And then by summer, I feel like I was reading so many books each month that it was just too hard to do quarterly book reviews. So I wanted to start doing monthly book reviews, but I got sidetracked this summer. I had other things to do, and I didn't film anything from like June through August. So if you want to see a wrap up of those books, please leave them a comment, and then I will revisit those if you are interested. But for now, I'm going to skip to what I read this month in September, and from going forward, I'm hoping to do this monthly. These videos are easy to film, but for some reason, they take me a really long time to edit. So I think that was one of the reasons why I just skipped over summer, is I just didn't have the energy to put into this. But I'm going to try because I've really read some really good books this year that I want to share with you. So the first one in September was The Women from Tehran by Marjan Kamali. This one was recommended by a coworker, and it was really good. It was about two women that grew up in Iran, Tehran specifically, from, I think it's 1950, 52, 53 to 2022. And so it spans like, 50, 60 years of their relationship. And it was really good. I just felt there was something missing, and I can't really pinpoint what. Maybe it was just that I wanted more of their story, of the two women that are friends. They're from different social classes and have different views on politics and social status and everything going on in that region throughout this time frame. I was talking to my coworker about it once I finished it, and she was saying the author took like 5 years to write this, and so there was just so much to cover. So maybe that was why it felt like something was missing, but it was a really great book. I gave it a 4-star. I would definitely recommend it. The second book I read was a library book. It was Sally Rooney's Beautiful World, Where Are You? That one I actually did not finish, which hasn't happened in a long time. I got to page 100 and just couldn't connect to the characters, didn't like the storyline. There was a lot of dialogue between the two female characters through like emails that didn't have to do with them so much as like their political feelings, which was kind of, I couldn't get into it, so I didn't finish it. I tend not to rate my do not finishes, so it would be a 0-star for me. And then the other book that I read after that one was the 6th book in the Anne of Green Gables series. It was Anne of Ingleside. At this point, she's an adult. She is married. She and Gilbert have 5 kids and are living in town of Four Winds. It was okay. I think I rated it a 3-star. I preferred the book before it, and House of Dreams. That one was really great. I loved those characters and the storyline in that one. That one and the first book, Anne of Green Gables, are my favorite out of the series so far. This one was just okay. It was a lot to do with her children and not so much about Anne, which was disappointing. But then after that, I read A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. This is the second book I read by Sengu Mandana. This book is really similar to her other one, The Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Even though the covers look similar and the storylines are similar, these books are not in the same fictional world. This is not a sequel to the first one. The magic systems are very different, and they just don't overlap at all, which threw me for the first half of the book. I wasn't sure if I'd like this one as well because of that, but then once I got used to this system and how the magic works and how people are like interacting with each other. I really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 5-star. It's very similar to the first one if you've read it. Both have the found family trope, misfits that are looking for somewhere to belong. It deals with a lot of diverse characters as far as ethnicity, sexuality, gender, even disabilities. So it was really great. There was even an autistic character, which I wasn't expecting, but that was pretty cool. Yeah, just it definitely is a warm, it gives you all the feelings. And it's definitely appropriate for this time of year, since it's set through like fall through the beginning of the year. So wonderful book, just as good as the first one. Loved the characters, loved the storyline, and I also really like how she describes magic in this one. For some people, accessing magic is like seeing the night sky and all the galaxies and stars, and like they call to you. Other people see flashes of lightning. Some people, it's a library of like flipping through books. So each person's relationship to magic is different, and it's reflected on how they like channel it, which was pretty cool. So definitely worth a read. Loved it. The other 5-star that I just finished was Onyx Storm. I finished this on my Idaho trip. Really good. Another 5-star. I read the first 2 in the series over the summer, so I did not do a book review on those, but to summarize, I gave all 3 of these a 5-star. The only couple things about this one that may not have held up to the other 2 is that there were so many names to keep track of, both of the writers, but also the dragons and griffons as well. So that kind of got confusing because some of the names are really similar. The other thing that I was just like, not disappointed by, but the ending of this one is so abrupt and so just like comes out of nowhere that I was just like, I don't know what to do with it. I watched someone else's review on this and they kind of said something similar. Like it just felt that the author was like in a hurry to finish it and like just finished the book mid-sentence, which I kind of agree with. It just doesn't make sense. And I think the author's taking a break before they write the 4th one and writing a different book. So by the time the 4th one comes about, I'm probably going to have to reread these so that I'm not completely lost. And I have a feeling that the ending, how it ended, is you're not going to find out how exactly that came to be until way far into the 4th book, just how they left it. So I'm just like, what the heck? But still really good. I rented the first 2 from the library, but I wanted to add these to my collection because I like them that much. So I went and bought this one. And then on my trip, I bought a copy of Iron Flame. And so eventually I'll get 4th Wing as well and have my own set. While I was in Idaho, I picked up this one called Falling Like Leaves by Misty Wilson. And it is a Bramble Falls novel. I got this one because they didn't have the one I really was looking for, which was If It Makes You Happy. But this one's also a new release for the fall, and I really liked it. I was not aware, or at least I didn't read the back close enough to realize that it was a YA book, which was fine. I just wasn't expecting to be reading about high schoolers, even though the back says they're seniors. But it was enjoyable. It was super cute. Definitely Gilmore Girl vibes and just a cute story. But I definitely think that the cover art is very misleading because they look like they're could be anywhere from like late 20s to 40s, not 18-year-old. The other thing about this book is that at least 3 of these high schoolers lead completely unrealistic lives. Like one is a famous food blogger and like gets paid to travel around the world to do food reviews of restaurants and things, and she has her own apartment and she's 18 and a senior in high school. That was ridiculous. And then the main male character, he is like this amazing baker and has been baking since he was in the 8th grade and is like probably going to start his own cookie company. That was unrealistic. And then the main character, she is a budding journalist and is doing these like internships with her dad's company in New York, and then they move to this tiny town. Her life is derailed and she rediscovers her love of fashion and clothing designs and has really great designs, which is awesome, but again, seems super unrealistic. And I feel like I have trouble reading that about like 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds in some of these books, that they're just like have this amazing talent that they haven't tapped into yet. So I feel like putting that pressure on teenagers who probably don't know what they're doing or are just mediocre at things probably puts a whole lot of pressure on them, which I don't know how I feel about that. But still, overall, it was a cute book. And I think this Bramble Falls novel, I think this is the first of what's going to be a series of Bramble Falls. So I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like Dream Harbor or like Abby Jimenez books, where it's like you kind of get to know a little bit of characters, and then the next book is probably going to be based off a different set of people. So I'm pretty sure that's what the author is going to do with these ones. Which, yeah, I would probably read to see some of the other ones too. And then my last book, which I have about 3 days to get through if I want to finish in September, is Legends of the Fall by Jim Harrison. This is a short story, which the movie is based off of, and I have read this before. This is one that's been in my library for several years, and it's a really good short story. I'm hoping I will finish it if by the end of this video. If I do, I'll put what I rated it up on the screen. But I'm expecting it to be a 3 or a 4 star because I do enjoy this one. The movie I saw as a very young child, and it scarred me, especially the war scenes. And like all of the, there's just a lot of bloodshed in that movie. So I was shell-shocked for a really long time after watching that. But short stories, really good. Really, really good. Probably better than the movie, as usual. Those are my books for September. October, I'm still figuring out all the books I want to read. I did pick up some in Idaho, and yeah, there's a couple I want to get once October hits and I can afford to get them from the local bookstore. But I'm excited to read really cozy books this October, November. So hope you've enjoyed this. Yeah, like I said, let me know if you want to see what I read this summer, and I will make a video or a couple videos covering those books because it was quite a lot. It was probably like close to 30 books. So let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you soon for another video.